fucking around tonight to get this working as it is. Oh, here he is. Here he is.
We are live.
Here he is.
Jay, we're live, mate.
Yeah, I've noticed, mate. I had no idea. I heard a noise and thought, what's that? And then thought, whatever, and just carried on. Right, well, I'm supposed to be hosting this. So, evening, everybody, and welcome to another pre-season Ought to Know Better. I'm joined by some of the regulars here. Carl, good old Luke. We've got a guest there in Big Lou, and we've got a special guest, the elusive Mr. Cy Johnson. How's it going, everyone?
Married?
Newly married? Yeah, congratulations, mate.
You've got that honeymoon glow still there, Simon.
I don't think he can hear us, you know. We'll run the intro. We'll run the intro. I'll see if he gets with us by the time we get back.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
Right then, nice and smooth, that, like clockwork. We never have any issues on this podcast. Can you hear us yet, Si? We can't hear you. Oh, God. I can see why he played football for a living.
Yeah. IT certainly not his thing.
To be fair, it's not mine either, and I work in it, but there you go. Well, I think he's trying to get his microphone to come on now. It's not happening, Si. It's not happening. You're going to have to ring him up again, Luke.
We'll have to do it in charades, or I'll FaceTime him and just play whatever he says down the phone.
All right, well, he's sorted that out. We'll move swiftly on and give him a chance to get.
Should be a menu down the bottom where it says mute. There, yeah. Oh, that's off.
Oh,
just British Sign Language is fine tonight, Simon. Don't worry, mate.
you've got to allow your mic access as well, Si. If you've not, it might have asked you when you joined.
Try leaving him joining again, Simon. And then hopefully we'll ask you for mic access. There we go.
Is that like to turn it off and turn it on again?
Kind of, yeah.
Basically, Simon, piss off.
Jesus, that's
well, it's been a cracking start to this podcast. I mean, got it all here. I've written a little list of stuff down because there's a few things to talk about. I look like I'm staring at the sky because of where the camera is. It's really off-putting. But yeah, I've written a few things down, a few things to go over, a few things happened around the club. I'm not sure where to start, to be honest, guys. I mean, we've got transfers, we've got the Oz games, we've got the ticketing system.
First, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean,
get it out of the way.
There's people's heads exploding about tickets today, but we can go into the transfer stuff if you want. It's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it, on the old striker front? I mean, what's going on there? It looked like we're in for a couple of people, bit of serious interest. Victor Orta's been pictured flying around places and that kind of thing, and then it's all gone kind of quiet. Anyone heard anything recently? Or
well, I hear Milan are carting Maldini out like the prize pig to try and get this CDK thing over the line. Like, so it doesn't look like it's going to happen for them because they're only offering 30 million plus 2, where we've offered 35 plus bonuses, apparently. Don't know how true that is.
But it feels like Football Manager, doesn't it, when you just offer stupid money to try and make a club accept? It's like, I just need that player.
It does feel like Football Manager trying to educate you lot how football finances work in the chat group. You need to play less Football Manager and FIFA and actually wake up and live in the real world.
Oh, here he goes, Mister. What a great FIFA, Rafinha.
I never said that. What my argument was that it's irrespective. It's all literal. You spend what you sell, and it doesn't matter what sort of fee you get. It's like buying a second-hand car or an house or whatever. It'll go up and down in value, but you can only ever buy something worth the same amount of value. You know what I mean?
I can see what you're saying with that, but when we had a higher offer on the table, it's hard to accept that for me.
Yeah, but we're in
If
that
he doesn't want to
scenario
go
now.
there, what's the point?
We are, mate, yeah.
They could have offered £200 million and he still wouldn't have fucking gone. So like,
No,
what do you do?
I do get that, but it does suggest that his market value was a little bit above what he went for. So,
but it's good. Yeah, it is good that you mentioned that because there's some similarities with this CDK in there. You know, he really wants to move. He wants to, you know, engineer the move to Milan. We're clearly keen on him, and why wouldn't be if you know the champions of Italy are keen on him.
I think Alison agrees with you.
Yeah, she knows her stuff. You see, she's So yeah, look, it's a bit of a. What I don't want us to do is miss out on other targets while throwing all our eggs into one basket, so to speak. You know, we did a lot of sensible, tidy work early on in the transfer market for me, and it almost feels like it's getting close. You know, I mean, I know there's still a while left of the transfer market. We've still got a month or so, but the season starts in just over a week's time. We don't want to be scratching around once the season started. You know, we want to get somebody in and get them up to speed and learn Marsh's way of playing football, if there is one.
I was going to say, really, it wouldn't take them long to get up to speed. It's more a case of get the ball and kick it hard in the goal.
I think that's a little harsh, boys. I think
that's going back to the Australian games. I mean, that's a decent feeling actually. I think when you compare the style of football we were playing to last year's, you know, when Marsh took over, I said this all along. We'll see a completely different team when he's got his own players and he's had some time through the summer with the lads. And I thought we played some decent stuff in Australia. I watched most of the games, and I don't think we played badly. I mean, Villa, Palace, we were a better side against Palace. Villa was a bit shit, and obviously Ahmed, is it Brisbane Roar we played in the first one?
It was,
yeah, that's right.
And we didn't hammer him actually, did we? Because we didn't score.
No, we won 2-1, didn't we?
Well, we had the ball for pretty much the whole game anyway, didn't we?
Yeah.
But typical Leeds failed to do much with it. But you know,
do you think is that going to be an issue for us if we don't get a striker, that the goals might not come because they're not flowing at the moment? And I think that if we don't get someone in, like that French lad is also on the radar as well, wasn't he? At Met last year, and apparently he scored. You know, he scored a handful of goals. Like he's fairly capable. No. The other lad,
Callum Wendo.
That's
Callum Wendo, from Paris.
What worries me about this, the transfers calming down is the fact that nothing is a surprise these days with transfers. You know, there's normally somebody talking about it, and there's normally some truth in it, and the main man Fabrizio Romano is always there doesn't seem to be anything massive going on other than the CDK stuff dragging on. I'm more worried about the lack of left back and the fact there's not even any solid rumours, you know, and that it's a bit worrying, isn't it? You know, we've got a guy who probably don't want to come to us, a guy who went on a PSG pre-season tour and they sort of want to keep him, who, you know, that might have been a little bit further along than it is. So for me, I am a bit worried because Bamford doesn't look up to speed yet. And we look like we were creating plenty, and ultimately we do look more solid at the back, in fairness, but if we're not scoring goals, we're going to be in the same. We might be drawing more games, but we're going to be in the same situation again if we're not careful.
I think
go on, Carl. Sorry.
Go on, Carl.
I just with the French lad, I'm not going to even try and pronounce his name, Lou. You've seen my history of pronouncing names. I won't do it. The one thing I worry about bringing him in is he's coming in at quite a high price, and he's the same age as Joffrey, and I don't want someone the same age as Joffrey to come in and potentially hinder his progress. That would
you don't
be
want to
my
see
one worry.
Joffrey sidelined for another youth prospect.
Exactly, yeah. And you're kind of thinking if we can get a not a veteran striker, but a seasoned striker in who you don't mind Joffrey being behind if Bamford's not playing, then you that's the way I'd like it to go, rather than getting the young fell in and potentially wrecking Joffrey's progress, you know?
Yeah, same. It should be direct competition for Bamford, not someone taking his spot.
Yeah. Well, I think just going back to your initial question, Carl, about it being, are we worried in terms of strikers? Well, when you look at it, not really, because we know Jesse Marsh will play would rather play Joffrey in his own position than Dan James up top, which is a bonus. Firstly, is Joffrey good enough to play at this level? I absolutely believe he is.
100%.
So providing he stays injury free and everything else, the centre forward position isn't, I would say, as important as the left back. And the reason I say that is because we've got Rodrigo who can play in the 9 as well. Albeit he's had a couple of chances, but the majority of the time under Bielsa, he was sort of forced into that 10 spot, weren't it? And now we've signed some 10s. We don't need to force Rodrigo in there anymore. Maybe this season we might see, a little bit more back for our money that we paid for him. Even if it is a backup striker to Joffrey, or even he might start over Joffrey while that Bamford's out. We just don't know, do we? I think that's why the centre forward and the 9 isn't as important for me. Now, Fairport isn't the best left back from that we've ever seen in the world, based on last season's performances, and for him to then be out injured and rely on somebody who's not as good as him at left back does concern me, Lou. I'm completely with you in that. I just think that has to be a major priority for us.
I don't disagree with you, by the way. I'm not.
No. I'm just saying, and then you look at again in the centre forward. You've got Greenwood as well, who's played well for us.
Transition.
I liked him a lot as a 10.
Marsh likes him as well, doesn't he? Marsh likes Greenwood.
He likes him playing that deeper role.
He kind of he just bashed his way into the team, didn't he? He just broke through just out of the blue. It was like he wasn't supposed to come in and do so well last season.
That sort of happened with Strauch a little bit towards the end of our championship winning season before and we'd not really seen tons of him before that. And then his breakthrough season ended up being, pretty immense. Yeah. So, I'd say you're right, Luke. Left back's probably more of a worry than striker because we do still have options there. Not at any point do we want to be seeing, let's try Harrison in the 9 or let's try James in the 9. Like we're struggling again.
Can we hear you this time?
Can we hear you, Simon?
I think you've got me now.
Hey! Welcome to Auto Know Better. Tonight I'm joined by Cy Johnson.
Did you write down your passwords?
I haven't. I ain't gonna lie.
He didn't get that big a cheer when he came on at Ellen Road, did he?
Very cutting.
Man. Quick one, Simon. How was the honeymoon?
Oh, it was beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah. Come on.
Properly off the shelf now, and I. So yeah, it was good.
Where did you go, Si?
Skiathos in Greece. It weren't honeymoon. That's where we got married.
Oh, nice. Okay. You just stayed there.
That's why my invite never made it. I don't get posts from Greece anymore.
Did you not get yours, Luke? I just had to decline. I couldn't find anyone to mind the boy. I just had I RSVP'd and said, "Sorry, man, I can't." It's a dog.
No vegan food, not for me.
Thank you, Alison and Marty.
Right, we're just talking transfers and stuff, Si.
Left backs.
Strikers, left backs, a lot.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on anything that's going on?
I was listening to. I'll jump back on when you're speaking about sort of someone giving Bamford a bit of a helping hand up there. I think Joffrey's more than capable, but it's a lot of pressure for a 20-year-old. He's still, in my opinion, he still needs bedding in a little bit and given time. And then in 1 or 2 years' time, I think then he can start really pushing. I think it's more a long-term thing for me, Joffrey, but he's a great player.
Yeah, I think he's awesome, especially for his age. When you look at the composure that he had to create that goal against Brentford on the last day. I mean, who does that? That's instinct, isn't it? You're not thinking that I'm going to do this.
Opposite him. I would have smacked him.
You want to bet the one at Ellen Road, you mean?
Brighton.
No, the one at Brentford when he
disallowed goal.
Oh yeah.
Maybe when he
flicked it over, it was Brighton.
Flicked it over.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where he did. He flicked it over him.
The assist,
Was it Brentford? I'm confused now.
Yeah, it was at home against Brighton. Yeah.
Okay, ignore me. I'm just.
Yeah. I just thought it was just a strange thing to do in that particular moment and that scenario. Like, I don't get it how we come to that conclusion to do that result. It's unreal.
Yeah. He's a
That's
mad
what I mean.
player
It's
as well.
got to be instinct, hasn't it?
It's the way he heads
Sorry,
the ball as well for such a small fella is pretty impressive. If you boys remember the goal, the Joffrey goal against Norwich in the last minute, he heads the ball in the middle of the pitch from Melié's. I think he beats the centre back in the air, who's got loads more height on him to put the ball in the path of.
That one where it goes out to Raf.
Yeah, who ends up cutting it back. I mean, he's done that quite a lot in pre-season. You've seen him winning headers that you never think he'd be winning. Great attribute, really, for a guy who you're not really expecting to win headers because he's so small, really, like by all accounts.
Yeah. Well, like his header against Brisbane Roar was impressive. Like that goal he got, like he got up and he bullied that centre back, and that centre back had a couple of years on him as well, you know. So it's he's no slouch in the air. It's a good asset, like.
Yeah, he's explosive. That's great.
The disallowed one against Brentford, actually, that was a great finish. It was a shame, that one. I didn't believe that.
Was his right foot as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. He's got all the tools in his locker, I think.
Yeah.
So on that side, would you, given the position, we don't know how long Bamford's going to be in and out. You know, he's struggled over the last 12 months with injuries, obviously. We're looking at probably Joffrey or potentially Rodrigo starting up front, I would assume. Probably Joffrey. And would you say that was a bigger priority than the left back situation at the minute?
Do you know what? I used to think it would be because the spine of the team is really important, obviously. But over the last probably 5 years, fullbacks they've become really important and probably one of the main positions in the team now. Not just for defensive duties, but also going forward. And I don't know. I'll probably look at the left back slot probably before the number 9 role. I think if Bamford's not right, I'll give Joffrey a few starts up there and see what he does early on in the season. But left back needs looking at for sure.
Do you think was it?
You mentioned.
Do you reckon they've already let Leif Davis go because they may have someone lined up? I don't think it would have been.
I think so.
I was going to ask this question.
Let go.
Yeah,
I think
has
so.
to be.
There has to be lined up. They can't be relying on Helder.
If you look back at Marsh's quote, he says we're going to look at the roster and we're going to see what happened. Now they've taken him to Australia, haven't they? It's clear
the roster.
Leif Davis isn't good enough. He's not good enough for Premier League football. It's clear. So he's had a shot out there. We've then been offered. I think it was a bit. I've spoken to a couple of Ipswich fans today. It's $1 million rising up to 1.5 apparently, based on appearances and stuff. Now 10 months left on his contract. Snap their hands off. It also creates that gap, doesn't it? That additional squad position. Who do we get? That's the fucking question, because we've been linked with Kurzawa from Paris Saint-Germain, who'd be an absolute diamond of a signing. But also somebody I'd like to see us linked with, and I don't know what's going on, but he's been touted at about £5 million. Is Tagliafico from Ajax?
He's gone to Lyon. I was just about to say, the Argentine.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, that one where someone on Twitter was like, "Why haven't we got on this?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean. For that kind
of when did he go there?
Last week.
Yeah, or at least agreed last week anyway. So that boat's.
Yeah, I was gutted, man. That's a good shout. Like,
I mean, good left backs are hard to find. There's not really that many good left backs in. I mean, even you look at the best left backs from last season. Probably the best one was Chancellor, wasn't it? And he's a right back by trade.
You know, it's nearly turned into an awful specialist subject, because you really have to be able to defend and attack with the same kind of capability
and use both feet.
Which, to be fair to Firpo, he can do one of them.
Yeah. Which one is that, Lou?
Not defend.
Yeah, it's not defending. There's a clue.
But that's the thing. Like, we're looking for a left back that can defend solidly in the back four that we want, and someone who's willing to get forward, like we've seen Christensen doing recently.
We've been linked with the Real Madrid left back.
Yeah, he's only a 20-year-old as well. Like, he's meant to be proper rapid. I can't, like, again,
Yeah.
I'm not going
Okay.
to attempt his name, like, but
I'm torn,
he's meant
me,
to be
between do we want these young prospects constantly, or do we want like someone established? I mean, we must sign somebody established at some point this pre-season.
I mean, what do you consider established? Half the teams played in the Champions League.
Yeah, I just mean somebody that's like more
Premier
of a
League
known
established.
name. Possibly. I mean, it's not a requirement. I'm just being a bit picky now. Just I'd like to see somebody I'm familiar with, I guess.
Everton
I'll throw it out there
mate.
then.
Everton
What about
did that, and look how Dele Alli worked out.
Don't you say Charlie Taylor or I'll kill you, Carl.
I was just yeah. Well, like you're
Fucking
saying, I
hell,
want something
fire,
familiar.
man.
You're saying, you know,
Not that familiar.
don't you know? Just throwing it out there. Cause a bit of chaos.
Absolutely
for a
not
little
Charlie
while.
Taylor. No chance. Not in a million years. But
Not for me.
But that
Not
sort
for me.
that sort of player, he's who could do. And do we want somebody who's going to push for potentially be the starter over Firpo, or do we want somebody to be an understudy? That's the other question. And I suppose it comes down to funds, doesn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
if they're coming in to cover Firpo for the few games he's out, then you're looking at someone who ideally would be a starter
I
to
would
challenge
say
Firpo. You know what I mean?
they
You're
have
not going to
be
get someone in of less ability than Firpo, because let's be honest, I may
'Cause
as
there
well
ain't
apply for
anyone.
the job. But yeah, that's the way you got to look at it. Like,
I think they have to be at least as good as Stuart Dallas, if not better.
oh, that's a fucking standard, man.
At left back, I mean. Dallas is not somebody that you consider like massive ability, is he? He's just really hard working and solid.
I don't know. He won Player of the Year for his Jay with the season.
I know he did, and he deserved it. I just mean technically, I guess he's not someone you think of as like a really technical player. At least I do, anyway. I think he's more of a heart player.
I think that's a very high standard.
So just on that, then, if you look at the teams in and around us, certainly, I mean, who can play players who can play left back, players who can play left back. Then, what sort of caliber? What are we looking at? I mean, for me, the teams that we played last season, Kyle Walker-Peters would be a great shot, but he'd cost an arm and a leg, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it would. For people listening, I'm just going to read Smarty's comment out because it's great. What we need to do is what we didn't do last season, and that's side a prick that can actually defend. Firpo's like France in World War II, constantly getting invaded.
They're not views of the pod. They're not views of the pod. Just
that's why Smarty's not on, because he's too controversial.
Yeah.
I'm not Leeds hating bastard. Get fucked.
I thought he was on holiday. He's commented a lot for Lad Loads, isn't he?
He wants to watch, doesn't he? He can't be asked coming on, but he wants to watch.
Ooh, meow.
Yeah.
So then, just go back to my question. Realistic targets. Then, who do we think that we could actually that's as good, better than Firpo, I suppose, that we could tempt based on our budget as well potentially? There's not a lot out there, is there?
No.
Can you think of
any
anybody?
Cars outside your house, though, Luke.
I've been racking my brain with it for a while, to be fair, and I think the ones that would come in and do a better job than Firpo would probably be a little bit out of budget. And there's not many I can think of neither, to be fair.
What if I throw this
Christensen didn't cost loads, did he? If we could get someone in that kind of ballpark.
What about, is Cornet gone anywhere yet?
No. But his injury
I think he's a ace. I don't know why no one's made a move for him.
Yeah.
Because he's just another Firpo. He's just an upgrade on Firpo. He's not a left back, he's a winger, isn't he?
We're talking about upgrades.
And if you're going to put Cornet at left back, you might as well put Harrison at left back.
Not defensively, though, Carl.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Right.
What about Jack Harrison?
No.
I just said that if you're going to put Cornet there, you might as well put Harrison there.
Strauch or Helder there, on the basis they're left-footed, makes more sense than putting a
Helder
winger
looked all right. Strauch looked all right as well, but he's a bit slow, isn't he, for being a fullback?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how pacey Helder is, though. I can't remember because I've only seen.
He's a centre back as well by trade. He's another big.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't a lot of options, and when you look at the grand scheme of things, you mentioned Cornet there. He is a better player than Firpo, but he's a more attacking player, so we'd lose any defensive. Whereas the style that we're going to be playing this year, I imagine we're going to be counting, that back four, and those holding two players are going to have to do a fair bit of defending. So we probably would have rather have a defensive type left back in Strike or Hjelde than somebody like Cornet. So yeah, it's a real tough one, and letting Leif Davies go because he clearly wasn't good enough, and we got managed to get cash from him. But I have a strong feeling. Look what happened with Raf. Nobody even mentioned Raf as being a target, and he just signed and ate fish and chips. Like in the same day, pretty much, and nobody knew anything of him. So I've got a feeling that there's something coming, something brewing, which will be exciting.
I think there's got to be because Davis is your only natural left back available. So
he's not available.
Even if he's not that good, he's still a left back. He can still play there. No, well, he's not, is he? That's what I mean, though. There must be something on the horizon.
I think it was probably a case
of the
club
as well, with some of the hammering they've had on social media.
Yeah, it was last chance saloon for him, I think, in Australia. They gave him a go. Marsh has seen enough. I think you're right. It would have been nice to have a left back on the books with the season starting soon, but there are options there. But tomorrow we could wake up and we'll be linked with somebody that might have legs. I can only assume because the board will not want to get hounded.
I hope he's got
making
legs.
Poor decisions. So, yeah.
Yeah, Tagliafico, not Tagliafico, Kurzawa would be quite nice. I think he's played for France and that, hasn't he? But he slipped down the pecking order at PSG, hasn't he? I think so. So yeah. Right. Shall we move on from transfers? We've talked about that for a long, long time, and it's boring me now because we've not signed anybody else.
You've caught me short now. I've got to get my list out again so I can remember stuff.
What about this new ticketing system?
Oh, here he goes. We're going to go to the Cagliari game, but okay. New ticketing system. That's been causing some ruckus online today. People aren't right happy. It seems like it's just as impossible to get a ticket. Only this time you can actually see just how impossible it is because you can see that there's 10,000 people ahead of you in the queue. I'm not sure. Does anyone have any thoughts on it? I mean, as a season ticket holder, luckily I don't have to worry about that. So, I mean,
look at that! I'm gonna go.
I'm only joking.
I'm not saying that. One of us bragging
this. Yeah. No, I mean, it looks a bit weird. It's like I don't fully understand the setup because. Like I say, I don't have to sort of get home tickets. I'm expecting to go through the same shit when I try to get an away one, though. But how does it work, Luke? You're a member, aren't you?
I am indeed. So essentially, what they've introduced is membership loyalty, pretty much. So anybody that's been a member longer than 10 seasons in a row is now entitled to a pre-sale, if you like, a day earlier than every other member. Now the misunderstanding comes where there is two normal membership prices. So there's a membership plus and a membership price. Now, previously the membership plus used to get that pre-sale, whereas what they've done is they've now moved that pre-sale to only fans who've had membership for 10 years plus. So people were logging on yesterday thinking that they had the pre-sale, but they were just member pluses again. And then what they've done is for everybody else, members and member pluses, they've just thrown them into another basket, which is today's. So the membership plus, I think, is an extra 25 quid for the year. And there's not actually that much benefit from it anymore. So that's where the uproar's been. People don't understand. People have been logging on to get tickets, and there's been 30,000 in front of them. People have been in queue position 1,000 and still not got tickets. And yeah, I mean, look, it's a new system. There's always going to be teaming problems, isn't there? But they need to fucking get it sorted and soon, man, because now the rest of the tickets have gone into basically a ballot. So you just got to bid for them, and the club chooses randomly who gets these spare tickets. It's absolute chaos.
What the hell? That's just meant to just sell tickets. Fucking stupid.
Now, what that says to me is that they're rewarding. Fair enough. I appreciate that they should reward long-time members. That's great. I've been a member for God knows how long, but I forgot to renew for one season about 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm pretty much a new member to them. So what's happened is in the last couple of seasons since we've been back in the Premier League, they've not capped the amount of memberships. So I think we're at about, I mean, I don't even want to guess how many, but we've probably doubled our memberships in 2 or 3 years, probably. Now you consider how difficult it was even 2 or 3 years ago to get a ticket. You can probably double how difficult it is now. So yeah, it's just a bit of a shit show, to be honest. But whatever it's making the club money, they're not going to. They're not going to go back on it. So yeah, I don't know. As season ticket holders, you're obviously entitled to your seat every game. I don't feel I'm any more entitled than a new fan. You can be a Leeds fan as long as you like for me, but what does it? How does it? What sort of message does that portray? Are we gonna leave those doors open forever? We could have 3 million members. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Liverpool have something ridiculous.
That's one of the things people are complaining
about.
They've
got a 30-year waiting list, and I think if you should just do members, right? And what you should do, this is just me, release tickets on say a Monday. There's say 2,500 released on a Monday, free for all, go for it. Tuesday, 2,500 tickets, free for all, go for it. Wednesday, and carry on until the game is sold out, because this whole members plus, super duper members, all this shit, it's just going to get fans angry with everyone, and
it gets even worse on away tickets.
Yeah, but the away tickets are the way they were doing it last year was actually all right, but
the away tickets this season, tickets. I'm just going to mute Jay because I think he's fallen off his chair.
Has he got a box to get back up on it?
The away tickets, they're basing on loyalty, not from last season, from the season before.
Well, I don't know that. Sense. But the season before, there was no fans in the ground. So how are they doing that?
Yeah, I don't get that. If you can hear me now, my internet just for some reason went totally tits up. No idea why. But the thing with the tracker, with it being the previous season, it's pissed me off that because I made a massive effort to get away tickets last season. Some of it was just to get a bit of loyalty built up.
Sorry, not from last season, was it? Was it the 2021 loyalty that they've gone back to? The season before?
The one before, yeah.
Sorry.
It's the one that people last season were getting judged on. Yeah.
I don't think it will be as bad as people are making out to begin with. Like, there's still the season ticket exchange as well, to give people an opportunity. So there are still going to be benefits to the membership. Now, I was only a member last season. I didn't get one home ticket in the normal ballot with my membership. I didn't get one away ticket in the normal ballot. I was relentless with the season ticket exchange when it was released and got home tickets. I went to 22 games last season with a membership plus. Like, I was relentless on Twitter, admittedly, trying to get away tickets and things like that. But some of it, I think, will be down to how much time you can be bothered to sit there refreshing when seats become available. Like, I got a ticket to the Scum game, which were ridiculously hard to get, but I was on there, the right place, right time. There is luck involved, but I think if you really, really want to go to a game and you're willing to sit there loads of times throughout your week on the season ticket exchange, you are still going to be able to get a ticket. I don't think it will. Once everyone's used to the system, I think it won't be as bad as it is initially. Like you say, it's teething problems.
Yeah, I think away tickets will still be tough, but yeah, you've got a lot more chance with home ones.
Just on that as well, they've made this foolproof ticketing process now, so that you can't actually be a tout. Well, actually, the problem is that you actually buy a ticket and it's emailed to you, so there's nothing actually stopping me, if I was a tout, emailing that to you, Jay, if you wanted to buy it for 150 quid off me. Do you see what I mean? The tickets are just downloadable from the email. So
you send me the email, I click save to my wallet.
Yeah,
and I'm in.
Exactly. And then unless they tie it up alongside the membership, and we said this in the group, there's no correlation between the actual ticket and the membership or whatever. So unless they're going to ask you to bring ID or your membership card and to attach that to your phone or something like that, which will just cause chaos because everything will take 2 or 3 times longer.
You don't get like a membership e-ticket type thing that you have to scan as well, do you?
No. Well, we haven't had his membership packs yet.
All right, okay.
We don't usually get them till the new year.
doing as well as shirt really. So then,
but yeah, I went to 11 away games last season, and only one was in my name. That's the sort of thing you're dealing with. People are buying tickets, can't go to the game, but they're buying them because they're entitled to them just to keep their numbers up on the that's
it. And the loyalty keeps getting locked out.
Absolutely.
But
so
you can't blame people because you fall off the list, you're fucked, aren't you?
No. And I don't care as long as I get to go to the game. I couldn't give two shites where I get the ticket from. I'd buy it off Terry Tibbs if I had to. But
it's like somebody at one of the games said to us.
There's a lot of ball ache involved in doing that, but you have to be willing to, you have to be willing to do it. The amount of times I waited for an hour and a half at King's Cross train station for some bloke to give me 2 away tickets to the Palace game at Palace, who the whole time I was saying, is he even coming? I think I've been mugged off it. and I was willing to do that because, like you, Luke, I wanted to go to the game, and it was important. It was, we were going to go down, definitely. But it didn't happen, so it's worth it. Now, that was the best 0-0 I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Rumbled.
Yeah.
That's
Simon, how did it work back when you went? When you used to go watch? Was it West Brom back in the day when you were a kid?
Yes, I used to sneak in under the turnstiles.
You've no chance of that at Leeds, Si. You can't even get in if you've got a valid ticket.
Call yourself a fan.
Yeah. Well, I told this story once to you guys, but one day I were at the turnstile waiting to go in. And I scanned my ticket, and as I went to open it, some random pisshead ran up behind me and tried to squeeze in with me. And I was like, "Fuck off! What are you doing?" They were like, "Call yourself a Leeds fan." I was like, "Yeah, dude, that's why I paid for a ticket."
Good luck trying to get in a turnstile with you, Jaya.
I'm gonna say there's not even enough room for me, let alone some fucker else as well.
Yeah, I'm still annoyed about that, Jay. I didn't have a ticket.
You looked a bit different back then, Lou. You looked older.
Yeah, I've grown my beard back, mate.
Okay. Going back to the thing though about the loyalty, there was somebody said to us that I can't remember if it were last home game last season, but it was something along the lines of his mate had given up his season ticket at the end of the season before Bielsa came, and he's never been able to get near getting one since, and he's absolutely gutted. And that's it. You give it up now. You have a shit season. You think, oh fuck this. You're not getting back when the good times come.
Is anyone on that waiting list?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I've been on it.
I think Gilly is.
I'd like to know where I am in the queue, but I'm definitely not getting one till I'm 50, am I?
Well, funnily you should say that, Lou. I messaged somebody from the trust the other day, and they've got a list of questions, probably as long as their arm, that they're going to ask the board when they get a chance. And one of my questions was around the renewal of the membership. There was a promise of 10% extra chance of getting tickets. Now, my question was, where's that 10% chance coming from? Sounds like it's probably going to be from this lottery ballot, if you like. But if they were return season tickets, who got them off the list? And now we saw a few phone calls. Now whether that was just for face or whatever from Paddy Bamford and that, saying you were first in line, you've got a ticket, you got a season ticket for this season. Oh, fucking brilliant! That weren't planned. So I'm skint now.
What a cynic!
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
And then
I like that last who were like, give over. It's not Patrick Bamford. Go.
It's Bill. It's Bill. Who? I know a Bill.
It's Bill that plays for Leeds.
Bill? The guy who come and cut me conifers. But this ballot, another question. This ballot, what do you get put in this ballot? Do you just get given the seats that you win in the ballot, or what the fuck? Do you know?
Yeah,
it's
East Upper right at the back.
East Upper row Z.
£75 done.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, it's all new, and it'll become second nature, and somebody will find out a way how to beat the system, and then I'll get ticket for every game.
You always got your finger in some dodgy pies, haven't you, Luke?
You'll figure out a way to beat the system, and you'll be able to what you're saying.
Basically, yeah, that's what it'll do. I'd like to know where people are on the season ticket list. I think people should be told, to be fair.
I think
if it's going to happen when I'm 50, I'd like to know, because that's 17 years from now. I might not.
Exactly.
I might support, someone else by then. I don't know.
Can you imagine?
Who might you support, Lou?
Man City, maybe. They'll have all our players. And I'll be like, well...
Can you imagine, though, if you were just thinking, oh, am I going to get a season ticket or not? Our lass wants to go on this holiday. Oh, I can't do both. I'm never going to get a call, am I? So you go and book this holiday, your missus is well happy, and then you get a call an hour later after you've paid for it. Oh, congrats, you're on. And you're like, oh, shit. Running back to the travel agent, try and cancel it.
Yeah.
Just apply for a new credit card.
It's Junior Firpo here. You're first at the... Yeah. Can you get another player to ring me, please?
How many season tickets do they make available? How many season tickets are available?
22,000, 25,000.
22,000.
22 in it.
Yeah, it's something around there, isn't it?
I'd like to know what happened to expanding ground, because if we survived, we were going to expand ground, and we haven't, and that would alleviate a lot of these
said
problems.
After the third year, apparently, that's when they were going to...
What year, Carl?
After the...
He nearly said it.
Last year was the third year, mate. Last year was the third year.
No,
Exactly.
it wasn't. They said 3 years in the Premier League.
Oh, three. We should have said.
Fucking fucker.
It doesn't work, Alison. Screenshot. It doesn't work. It's it doesn't let you do it. It says it's not allowed by policy. So,
Yeah.
But if you email the email to somebody, they should be able to use it. It's just
Providing there's not 3 tickets on there and you've only sold them 1, and then they download all 3 and fuck you right off.
Oh, shit,
That's a good point. That's a good point, Lou.
Free on it, like, that's the
Thing
danger.
is, this shouldn't be anything new either. Like, as in, people who go to gigs and cricket and rugby league and everything else that have... I've been to so many different things that have mobile tickets. This isn't going to be as alien as everybody makes out. Yeah. Everybody's just talking about, 65, 70-year-old Leeds fans who have been through their whole lives are going to struggle because they've got a Nokia 3310 still or whatever.
I'd love a Nokia 3310.
They're just going to be outside the grounds on Snake. That's fine. They'll be fine.
Snake or snake bite.
I don't need any internet.
Yeah.
There was no internet when they bought them phones. I mean, I bought a ticket for the friendly next week, and it gave you the option to either have an e-ticket or a print-at-home ticket. So I'm assuming that's what they're going to do for people that don't want an e-ticket.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
But so that means get yourself a printer.
As memorabilia, people collect the tickets. I like to keep them, to be honest.
There's an old guy stands next to us in Cheese Wedge, and he's got like an FA Cup final ticket from '60s or something that's like laminated in a piece of plastic. It's like it's almost intact. There's a couple of bits missing, but keeps it in his pocket, brings it to every game. It's his lucky ticket. It's really cool, actually.
I'm a little annoyed I won't be able to collect season ticket cards anymore.
I lose all mine anyway, so
yeah. But it's nice, I
lost my wallet with last one.
In the '60s.
Me?
What you mean from 1972? You mean?
I said 60s or something. I can't remember what date we're on it. I'm not stats.
Call yourself a real fan.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Here we go. I'm just going to leave. All right, you lads carry on.
Did you?
Hey, mate.
Is any, Lou, are you coming up for the Calgary game, yeah?
Calgary?
No. Calgary? Calgary?
That's what it sounded like you said.
That's
Calgary,
a city in bloody Canada.
In Canada.
All right. Cagliari.
You're fucking Italian, Carl.
I thought you were Italian, yeah.
What?
I'm sitting here thinking I daren't say it in case I mispronounce it. I wasn't going to call it fucking
Cagliari.
Calgary.
Oh, that's fucking
Cagliari.
way off. That's fucking way off. Get back on the boat, you, and piss off. That's way off.
Cagliari.
Yeah. You don't pronounce the letters as you see them.
Hang on, so the guy who's just called it Calgary is telling us how to pronounce it.
Hang on a minute.
Wait, so that wine is not called Pinot Grigio, really?
Yeah, Lou. Go on.
Listen, this is coming from a guy who. This is coming from a guy who, when we were in a football quiz, he got a quiz about an Italian goalkeeper. And he's the only person who got it fucking wrong.
Yeah. I did. What do you mean I was the only person who got it wrong? Everyone
I didn't get it wrong.
Table got it wrong. For the record.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Don't bite, Carl. Don't bite, mate.
I'm not biting, man. I'm not.
Nibble.
Fucking hell, man.
All right.
I'm enjoying these random pre-season pods, to be honest with you.
It's me, Galio.
It's nice bit of just laying to people and not have to learn.
He was just on about eating a pizza, wasn't he, before as well?
I fucking was, to be fair, yeah. I genuinely was. I got to go and get one.
Do you have pineapple on your pizza, Carl?
You can get fucked. No way.
Do you, Si?
No.
Nah, definitely not.
Oh, good. I want you to say yeah just to upset him.
Can't. It's like, no.
So when we're seeing you, Lou, are you coming up to the Calgary game?
Unfortunately, I move house on the 2nd of August, so the first couple of games at home I won't be around. But yeah, so unfortunately, no, I won't be there for the Calgary game.
That's a shame, mate.
I'm not living.
Calgary Flames. That's the ice hockey team, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the date of that game, please, lads?
31st.
31st next Sunday.
Is the Charity Shield is the day before, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that's the first sort of,
Why are you coming up, Simon?
Something to watch.
I'm thinking about it.
Good luck getting a ticket, mate. I'm kidding. There's plenty. Have you got a membership though?
He's an ex-player. He'll get hospitality on for free.
Yeah.
I bloody wish.
Now there's still plenty of tickets floating about, and that's that. I booked. They've just opened a couple of new stands. I was
going to say I won't be surprised if they opened the stand because they're only half at ground for sale when I go.
The two little dweebs I'm taking.
I hope they've recovered by then, mate.
Yeah. And so on the Calgary game, then what do we expect? Are we? Because they're not a bad side, are they?
No, I mean, Canadian football's come a long way in the last few years, so I'm expecting big things.
This is a fucking end of season outtake thing already. It's not even the start of the fucking season.
Well, I'm quite looking forward to seeing Rodrigo on an ice rink because it looks like he's running on treacle most of the time. He's just going to be a bit quicker across the surface.
Oh, God.
I got to go to the game with a maple leaf T-shirt.
I think you should, mate. I think you should. Just make sure it's not fucking red or you'll get lynched.
Ah, yeah, no, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Do you think there's any chance at all that he could come good, or is it just not going to happen?
Yeah, I think there's a good player in there, man. When you watch him, he's almost too good. Like some of the passes he makes, like they look shit, but the idea, if he had a player on his wavelength, sometimes, honestly, I think he's almost too intelligent.
I get that. I joke about it, but do you boys not think that he looks like he struggles to run and get about the pitch?
Oh yeah,
sometimes
he looks really sluggish, and that doesn't mean to say he doesn't do good things on the pitch because he does. He does lose the ball a lot, which is very annoying. But he does do a lot of good things. But he looks like he struggles to run, and I don't know if that's a fitness thing or it looks like a real effort for him. Like he gets his head down and he looks almost pissed off. Like
what it's like though.
Yeah.
When you're knackered and you just want to be like.
Well, yeah, obviously I do that when I play football, but I'm not as good as Rodrigo. Like it's frustrating to watch. And
you can actually teach and reteach footballers how to run properly. They did it with Bamford. If you check the season we went up, check his stride from the first season in the Premier League. Check his stride. Yeah. They've done it with him. You can do it with footballers like.
Yeah. Just another thing on him as well. We might see a bit more of him in the 9 position. He's had very limited chances. He was Spanish number 9. There's a good player in there. You don't play for Spain up front if you're not a decent fucking player. And he was almost retrained by Bielsa to sit further back. Now that clearly doesn't suit him that much because he's got to do more running for one. And it's tiring. The further back you play to the midfield, it's a lot more tiring. Now, if he's conserving a bit of that energy, playing up front, and getting maybe half a game, 30 minutes or something, maybe we'll see a little bit more explosivity and actually what he's capable of.
Yeah,
to be fair to him, he's like been played in a position that isn't his position. We've never heard anything about him moaning or kicking off.
No, but the sluggish thing with his running, I think, really makes it look like his body language really negative on the pitch, like almost like. But because it makes you read into it, and you think, well, maybe he's not fully fit, maybe there's something going on, or like Carl said about like Bamford looks like a positive runner. He looks a lot freer, when he's fit, obviously.
Yeah.
Rodrigo doesn't look like that. I still don't think we know what his best position is. He's played 9 plenty of times. Didn't he start at 9 against Crawley and we lost 3-0?
Yeah, but there is those.
Yeah, but
games,
who else
right?
were in the team with him?
Well,
But the
it
other
wasn't
thing-
a bad team.
Yeah.
I can't remember, to be fair.
The other thing is as well, you got to remember our first season back up when Bamford was out injured towards the end of the season. Rodrigo got about 6 goals in about 9-10 games when he played in that 9 position. He got them 2 goals against
I remember
Burnley.
that little run
They
he
were
had.
absolutely cracking. He got one against Spurs and he went on a bit of a run towards the end. But he, like you said, Lou, if he's played in the number 9 and he sees it as a positive thing, then it's going to up his game, isn't it?
Absolutely, and he did have a lot of important contributions last season as well, which people will forget. You know, I think he scored against Norwich both home and away, which at the time, obviously different ends of the season, were really important goals. You know, we won both those games 2-1. He scored the opening goal at Ellen Road, and people weren't expecting good things from him. And Marsh kept the faith a little bit, and he did still do some good stuff. And he worked really well. He linked really well with Rafinha, but obviously, you know,
that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen anymore. We have to watch him tear it up for Barcelona, which...
No, we don't, Lou, man. We can turn the fucking TV off, man. That's all you got to do. You just turn the TV off. Just go,
The thing is, people are moaning about that, but it's not like he didn't score... Well, people were saying, he scored a worldie already. He scored worldies for Leeds. You know, like,
long
it's
before
not like
he
he
did it for
didn't
that
do that.
Hey, we made him.
Yeah. Well, Bielsa did.
Well, yeah, that's
Bielsa
it.
did. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there must have been a few players relieved that they weren't going to be doing Bielsa's training methods anymore when he did go. I bet they were gutted to see the back of him, but I bet
anyone whose leg is in a cast right now is probably going to...
Yeah.
The thing is, you could see that kind of, like, when Marsh said on that radio that show that won't be named that the players were overtrained, you could see a little bit what he meant, because we had Bielsa for the good part of 4 years, and that same core group of players, no team in the history of football under Bielsa has ever trained that hard for 4 seasons in a row, and we expected us not to get injuries.
Yeah,
I bet there were
people
never anywhere long enough.
that, like, yeah, that's
some
the thing.
medical
Like,
science people
4
queuing
years,
up to study him.
you know?
But look at
This
that
is the
core
thing.
of players now, like all the old
They're all
school.
broken.
Other than maybe Matthias Klick, Coops, Ayling, Forshaw, Dallas, you know, that's 4. There's probably others. Bamford, who's still not 100%.
We'll see them all in sort of 15, 20 years' time, and every single one of them will be in a wheelchair.
Simon, do you think? Obviously, you trained under quite a few managers in your time. Do you think sometimes managers overcompensate with the fitness, and do you think that's why potentially the players that were part of that core group probably aren't going to be part of our core group moving forward? Do you think they have Bielsa burnt out, so to speak?
I'm not so sure, and the reason why I've thought about this, to be fair, I think they probably chucked him under the bus a little bit, but I am a Bielsa fan, and the reason I say that is because when they were winning games consistently and they were successful, it wasn't an issue. But then all of a sudden, when things weren't going the way, okay, we're overtrained, and for me, I think it's a bit shitty. Excuse my French. With that being said, do we stay up with Bielsa in charge? I don't think so. But I think the players have got a lot to answer for where that's concerned, because they was happy with his methods in the first year when we got promoted. They was happy with them in the Championship, and then as soon as we hit a bit of adversity, it becomes an issue. And I think that sort of line of thinking comes naturally as a footballer, because you look to pass the responsibility elsewhere.
Does no one ever want to admit that they might have not been so good?
But the thing is, Jay, like
exactly that.
Players are never going to get sacked. That's the thing. I think that's the major problem. Like, I think, like, in terms of what you were saying, Simon, maybe there needs to be some form of reform with their contracts. If you play to a standard that's not acceptable for the club and you end up getting the manager fired, then there has to be consequences towards your pay packet. And that would potentially have players booking up their ideas and going, just because I don't like him doesn't mean I don't play for him. My wages suffer if I don't play for him.
That leads into the whole thing about player power, doesn't it? And players getting managers sacked and just down in tools if they want rid of somebody. You might be onto something there, Carl.
To be fair, do you know what though? I haven't come across many players that would do that, and I mean that, genuinely mean that. I think if you're a professional footballer, you're there for a reason. It's because you majority of the times you act in a professional manner. So I haven't come across that, to be fair. But I don't know. It's not a bad point.
Well, there's only one player I've noticed in recent times, and he played for that lot, and Pogba. That's a player who down tools.
Yeah. Didn't give a fuck, did he?
Horrendous attitude.
I thought he was great.
Shocking. Well, obviously, from a Leeds point of view, it's fantastic what he did because he's a bellend. But to do that and the money he's on, he should have been stripped of a percentage of that wage for the way he down tools. I think that's disgraceful.
Balotelli was a bit like that as well. A bit temperamental.
Yeah. But Balotelli performed. He got the goals when it counted, and if it was always why always me.
Did you boys see that clip that was going around of Balotelli in a pre-season game against LA Galaxy? Yeah. And he had so much time just to slot the ball, and he decided just to do some. And Mancini subbed him straight away.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that. Like, that guy was loose in the head, wasn't he?
I remember that. He was great. Do you remember he set his house on fire, didn't he? Setting fireworks off in his bathroom. Yeah.
But then, like, we say all this, but then there's the other side where he drove to one of the poorest sections of that lot in the city, and he bought them all Christmas dinner in the pub and paid for pints and did everything on Christmas Day.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Yeah. If you get somebody who's a bit eccentric, they're going to do stuff that's good and bad out there, and it's all going to be a bit mad.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's not talk anymore about anything from that side.
How do we think we're going to line up then this weekend? Are we going to be as full strength as possible in preparation for the first game of the season, or is he going to give?
I think so. I think now it's got to be about setting your team and your tactics now. Surely. I mean, what do you reckon, Si? I mean, you've been in that position, mate. Are you looking to set your formation and your starting 11 and see how they go, or are you still experimenting at that point?
No, I think to be fair, the majority of managers will sort of have an idea of what route they want to go down, and the closer the seasons get, the more they will move to personnel and system they're going to be using. But it's not unknown that managers keep the cards close to the chest until the first game of the season either. So, it just depends where he's at. And if he needs to give certain players minutes.
I'll tell you, I bet we won't have a sense of shock like we did on that first game of the season when Bielsa took over against Stoke. I remember walking to that game and thinking, oh God, we're going to get fucked. We haven't signed anyone. We've just got this Ben White guy,
You've been negative.
Fuck is he?
Behave.
This is in the past, Luke, before I reformed character. And I mean, I just said to lads ago, I was like, nah, we've had it this season. We're fucked. We're going to get relegated. We've not signed anyone. Then fuck all. Got this Bielsa bloke in, fucking Ben White. Who the fuck's he? And then I just watched that game and I walked away just like, fucking hell. We're going to win the fucking league. This is amazing. We're fucking awesome.
The thing was, with that scenario, we were playing pre-season friendlies in training gear and nothing was organised properly. Everything was chaos. And then to watch that game against Stoke on the first day, it was just like, I just watched them playing a training kit in Guiseley, and it was like,
it was just magic, wasn't it? It was like everything just came together.
Yeah, they were terrible.
Just tear up everything you know about football and watch this. It was just rebrand. It was like football was rebranded to us, wasn't it? It was just unreal.
Yeah,
we scored.
And nobody backed us to do anything that season, did we?
Yeah,
that's when we knew things were different, Lou.
Yeah,
and now we've gone back to not being able to take them.
Well, so just on that, then, if we are going with our first 11, how do we line up based on what we know and what we've seen from pre-season?
Well, Rocker's got to be in there, hasn't he? He's looked great.
Obviously, Rocker's going to be the best signing, isn't he?
Yeah, obviously we're probably going to have Mesley in goal, Christensen on the right.
Yeah. Obviously, CDK is going to turn up before end of week.
Two centre backs are going to be probably Cock and Llorente.
I think it's going to be Cock and Struck,
I think Struck
It'll be interesting to see.
I don't think he started Llorente yet, has he?
No. Oh, he did
Even
against
in pre-season.
Brisbane Roar. He did start him against Brisbane Roar, yeah.
So not against the Prem teams, which might be an indication. You never know.
But this is what I mean. Like, I think he saw enough of Helder against Palace to start him against Wolves. I'm going to say.
Do you actually?
I think he saw enough against Palace.
I wish we had like a breaking news klaxon that we could use because it's a Carl prediction.
There you go.
I know Helder didn't play a lot. I quite like the look of him.
I think he
looks a real talent.
I think he played against West Ham last season, and I think he played against maybe Fulham in the cup.
Yeah,
and he was pretty solid because I think he played with Charlie Cresswell, didn't he?
Did the two of them? It was left back
at West Ham as well
and centre back.
Yeah. So defense is not really left back. Obviously, is an issue, but loads of options at centre back. I think when Coops is fit, Coops should start as well. To be honest.
Oh yeah, and then it's a fight
Coops
out.
is in there every time, and then fight it out.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's lovely that we have centre backs that have to fight it out for that one.
Remember when we didn't have any centre backs because they were all dead?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I don't want to.
And then obviously, in front of that back four, we've probably got Rocker and Tyler Adams to complement each other quite well.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
Rocker's a bit more of a Calvin type CDM, I think, spraying the ball around, whereas Tyler will do the hard work and break up play and that, won't he?
I think it looks like a really good balanced team on paper, to be fair, and a bit more depth on the bench. And we're still talking about potentially 2 more signings as well. But what I also think is that Marsh had a really hard job last season where they were going, he's trying to play this narrow football in the middle of the pitch when we haven't got central midfield players and it's not working. And then we sort of went to width. I think he's probably more adaptable than we think. I think we're going to play in a variety of ways this season, depending on the sides we're playing against. And fingers crossed that happens because we need to be adaptable. But I think Marsh can do both. And we're strong in the centre of the park now. So we can go through teams in the middle. And we've also got really good wingers to do, play with width as well. So I'm excited for all of that.
That harks back to what Luke said before about saying, when we see Marsh with his own team next season, we'll see different football. And I said the same. I agreed with that. I think, wasn't he the favourite on Sky Bet to be the first manager sacked?
What a ridiculous
4-1 or something.
What a ridiculous
odds. Where's that come from?
That's only because he's American. 100% because he's American.
Because you know who should be first on that list, Carl, and you'll know who I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Frank fucking Lampard.
Yeah.
With his 4-0 loss to Minnesota United. I'll tell you what.
Simon, you should try and get his number and just stitch him up, man.
If they signed anyone,
surely you know someone that's got his number.
Everton are going to struggle, aren't they? Everton are going to be down there again.
Yeah.
Got to be. They've sold Richarlison. They've not signed anyone, have they?
They can't sign anyone, man. They've exceeded all FFPs for the rest of their existence by the sounds of it. It's ridiculous. And
Richarlison's gone, and I don't see.
Well, Dele Alli's gone back to bleeding Spurs, and they were on.
I thought
did they buy Dele Alli?
Yeah, they bought him for 40 million.
Oh, fuck. Right, okay.
He played him as the from in front of the goal the other day.
I know, I saw that. Sorry. I thought he'd gone back out on loan with them, man.
It was easy. You could have scored it with your cock. It was that easy.
You could have hit it with any part of your body.
Well, maybe not Jay's cock, but yeah, anybody else would have done.
Hey, we'll have less of that. There's kids watching. I mean, there shouldn't be, but there probably is. Have you ever missed a sitter like that, Si?
Pardon?
Have you ever missed a sitter like that in a proper game?
Not like that.
That was bad. Like, that was very bad.
Yeah. It's just a shadow of his former self. And if you went back like 5 or 6 years and said, one day this guy will be just going club to club and nobody will want him, you'd have been like, give over. He's the right talent. They were in England international. He looked great.
Well,
now he's just like this journeyman who's going around for big money.
He's a lazy trainer, isn't he? Like Mourinho hated him because he was just he looked like he didn't give a fuck in training, which doesn't help.
See, that's all right if you turn up and you don't bother and train, but you do it on the day, isn't it? But you get players like that, don't you, Si?
Can you imagine that bloke in a league
shit on TalkSport and that shite when they're talking about ex-players?
Si, who was the laziest trainer when you were at Leeds?
Viduka.
Yeah, you can see that.
You do, yeah, I heard that.
But
is that because they were that good? He didn't have to do all.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly
He'd probably say that out loud, Viduka, wouldn't he?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And who was the hardest? Hardest trainer?
I thought you meant hardest person then. I was just going to say, well, David Batty were there, wasn't
hardest would probably have been
Milner there we are.
Yeah.
He was only
Oh,
16.
what do you mean by hardest?
Like in the shower.
The hardest,
well, that was Si.
who played every training session like it was a game and run furthest and just like really put it in?
Milner, yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
You can see that proper professional, innit? You know what I mean? There's never going to be any stories coming out about him like shagging grannies or cheating on his or anything like that. He's the ultimate professional, innit? Do you know what I mean?
It's scary. I had a conversation about with someone today. It's just scary how much he figured out at such a young age. It's frightening. He just got it. He just understood everything.
He's still doing it now at Liverpool. He still wins all the pre-season testing at Liverpool. Now he's 37, 36?
Yeah.
He's ripped to shreds still, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ripped to shreds.
He went to my school, I remember him.
All that cutting the grass with the scissors.
He were better than everybody else who were years above him, even back then. Do you know what I mean? He just used to see him at like dinner time running like fuck, passing everybody, going round them. Just, he were quality then for a kid, and he's just gone on leaps and bounds.
Surprised he went to a special school.
Yeah, well, we're everywhere as weirdos, mate. It's all right. We can tell you didn't go at all.
So sorry, just on that lineup then. In front of them, obviously with Sinisterra out, we're looking at the same. Well, probably not the same because it would have been Raf and Harrison last season.
Still loads of options. We've got Somerville, James, and Harrison. I'm happy with that.
James and Harrison will be starting, and then Aronson in front of them, and then up top, Joffe. Is that probably about it? Would you say first game of the season?
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, Bamford don't look at it yet, does he?
I just want to see some width. I just want to see width.
We're going.
It's all about the girth, isn't it?
I've heard that about you, Carl.
Don't matter how long it is, just loads of width. That's what you want, isn't it?
I think we better start wrapping this up on this. I'll let you or Carl do a special shout out for a bit of a legend of a Leeds.
All right, Carl, do you want to do it?
Nah, go for it, but you can do it.
All right, yeah. So as everybody knows, we chipped together and got a Click shirt from last season. We didn't really know what to do with it, with everything that was happening, whether we were going to be relegated or whatever. We put it out to a public auction on Twitter only a couple of weeks ago now, and we had some amazing bids. The first opening bid was 200 quid, I think, and it very soon got up to a massive 750 quid for a signed Click shirt. So thanks ever so much to @TV Tinks, who was the winning bidder of that shirt. The money will be split evenly between the LUFC Foundation and the LUFC Trust charity partner for this season. And yeah, thanks ever so much. But on the back of that, on top of that, he's actually won that shirt, the signed Click shirt, and he's actually donated it to a kid on Twitter as well. So even better. Look, what a guy!
Man. What a legend!
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, well done.
Gets a round of applause from Auto Know Better.
Yeah, as the season comes around, we are going to have obviously more giveaways and competitions and things. So do keep your eyes peeled. We've got plenty of people interested in giving away bits and bobs related to Leeds United. So get your retweets, get your shares, get following and like the videos and stuff. And thanks.
Thanks again, Tiggs. Appreciate that, man. It's all the money's going to two worthy charities.
That's it. It absolutely exceeded our expectations, that bid. So
yeah, to be fair,
massive well done for that. Yeah,
I think we were quite happy with 100 quid, weren't we? When we bought the shirt, we were like, if you can get 100 quid, it's double what the shirt's worth almost. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the shirts went down to 20 quid.
We just wanted to give a bit of money to charity, didn't we?
Yeah.
If you're watching, mate, it sounds like you got a load of money. If you could lend me 750 quid, that'd be great.
Bloody Southerners, fucking hell! Tell you, always on deck.
Don't ask, you don't get, man.
Well, I'm moving house, mate. This stuff's expensive.
Or if you've got any away tickets, we'll take them instead.
Yes, that's fine.
Right,
I
think that's probably it, Luke. I ain't got all else to say, so unless any of you guys have got anything.
Not at all. Thanks for joining us, lads.
Yeah,
Thanks, everybody. Thanks ever so much. Cheers, Simon. Cheers, Lou.
Anytime.
Happy days.
Cheers, lads.
Adios.
Take care. We'll catch you after.